Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome everyone to Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting humankind with universal love. This is the Dr. Carolyn Dean live show. This is Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty, and I will be your co-host, along with our very own dashing and delightful Dr. Carolyn Dean for the next 2 hours as we trip the light fantastic about the thing that is preeminent on all of our minds, and that is life. Life, ladies and gentlemen, is the thing. It's the brass ring. It's what we all aspire to, life and living well and loving, being in our bodies as ebullient, joyful people on the face of this earth and taking everything that we can out of this beautiful ride. And I'll tell you, there is one person who represents life to me probably more than anybody, and that is our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean, who has maximized her life in so many ways, from being a doctor, a naturopath, an herbalist, an acupuncturist, a reflexology. I mean, my gosh, I always rip off a bunch of things, and then she has to correct me and say, no, Ginny, don't say reflexology. But honestly, she probably can do it. And then we've got an author of hundreds of books, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking free books that are on our website right now, that you could probably, if you finished every single one of those books, as our customer service team members have, you would feel uniquely qualified to be your own physician, because you would have every information piece that you needed in order to complete that journey for yourself, no doubt. And then we've got her incredible dynamic radio show every single week, helping people. She simply cannot help helping others. And then she's got the great gift. And one of the greatest gifts she's given all of life and all of vitality and well-being is her alignment with her completement formulas. Now complete after all these years. We've been calling them completement formulas for over 10 years, but now they're actually complete with the addition of her newest formula, which we're going to talk about tonight. There's nothing that she doesn't know and can't help you with when it comes to your body. Seriously. Of course, the FDA doesn't like us saying that, so we don't say that. We don't say that. We say, this is a talk radio show and you're welcome to call and talk. And Carolyn will tell you what she would do if it were her in your situation. But honestly, she could say a lot more. And you would love it. And you would be able to trust it and use it to your own benefit. As tens of thousands, well, probably over hundreds of thousands of customers around the world have now done. So without any further delay on my part, we will bring her into the conversation and introduce her and just let you all enjoy her and be with her in this time as she really shares her heart with you, all the things that are on her mind and what you can do to effortlessly, freely, gracefully add life and great benefit to your life through her wisdom and her formulas. So without further ado, our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Yay, the children have spoken, Bob. Get on your phone and listen to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show with co-host and Happy Bunny Ginny. Is that what it was? Happy Bunny or Happy Buddy? Oh yeah, my buddy. And yes, look at your alliteration there, life and living well and loving our bodies, and we are spreading health and joy wherever we go. We were just doing that. Our dear friend Rachel, who's the producer of this show, we were chatting with her, and I just said, we really appreciate you, Rachel. And she said, you don't know how much I appreciate you guys. So we can't help ourselves. We just have the juice and the goods that we just spread, thick as butter everywhere we go. And we just love it. We're having so much fun. So I have a few things before today's blog. Oh, yeah. We do our housekeeping. You can join our subscription service so you never run out of products. Refer your practitioner. Use the referral candy and get another discount. Get your blood testing done. We're still giving away home blood test kits. Working a research project with Grassroots Health, and it'll test your whole blood RBC magnesium, your vitamin D, your TSH for your thyroid, and your omega-3 fatty acids. Jenny's already said, yes, our omega-3 algae A and E product is coming out, looks like next week, and that completes our complement formulas. And the reason we brought it out is because when we started doing the testing, myself and most other folks who had their omega-3 test done realized that we are deficient. And if we want to stay on top of our health, there are things we can do. And that includes taking dietary supplements. Now, I had been taking products just like I thought I'd been taking vitamin D. Both my omegas and my vitamin D were low. So I said, okay, then I have to make our own products so that we can at least get things that are absorbed and we can trust. And that's been the focus of this whole company's effort to have dietary nutrients that work and that are absorbed. We continue to do our magnesium deficiency survey. Over 350 questionnaires have been filled out. And what are we finding? It's consistently month to month that 70% of people who answer the questionnaire have insomnia and anxiety, 60% muscle cramps, 55% have restless legs, 50% have heart palpitations, and about 40% have tension headaches and migraines. I mean, that's horrible. And what are they treated with? All these conditions that could be magnesium deficiency. You're taking sleeping pills that become addictive after 2 weeks. If you read the fine print on insomnia and anxiety medication, they say for short-term use only. Who listens to that? And who gets addicted? Most people. And muscle cramps, that can be drugs that you're taking causing muscle cramps, like the statin drugs. Even so, the magnesium will help. And then, of course, the magnesium will help your cholesterol, so you may not need your statin drugs. Restless legs, now that can be potassium and magnesium. Heart palpitations, they've gotten people into this huge vortex of taking blood thinners in case you get a stroke with the heart palpitations, and taking 5 or 6 medications, and you're told you have a heart condition. But what if it's a magnesium deficiency condition? And potassium is very useful there as well. And migraines, doctors who run headache clinics are convinced that magnesium is a treatment for migraines. So why not take that before you take the incredibly toxic drugs that are given for migraines? So that's our magnesium deficiency questionnaire. We're coming out with some other questionnaires for thyroid and what else, Jenny? Thyroid and magnesium. We could come up with questionnaires for all kinds of different conditions.
Well, we're doing one for yeast overgrowth too. I think that's another one of them.
Right.
And I think eventually we're going to get into maybe what was that? We just did a topic on insulin resistance or something. But yeah, lots of good stuff.
Right. Yes, because sometimes people aren't aware. What is it? High school or even grade school education does not focus on health or nutrition, and neither does med school. So who knows this information? You just don't get it anywhere. Anyway, Ginny's introduction actually made me think of several things. There's one thing here actually about reframing viruses. A very sweet doctor, Michael Gonzalez, down Puerto Rico. He's part of the Orthomolecular News Service board and forum. And he wrote to our forum and he said, we have more bacteria in our body than cells and more viruses than bacteria. Viruses are nature's way of updating our DNA software, and they are a necessary step for evolution. Mutations can go either way. The virus can be more or less virulent. Now, that's a big mouthful, but I wrote back to the group and I said, perfect, Michael, look how the mitochondria evolved. Viruses to the rescue. So that's reframing the whole viruses, that they're so dangerous and we should be afraid of them and mask ourselves up for the rest of our lives. But viruses are everywhere. There's more viruses than bacteria. There's more bacteria than the cells in our body. And with mitochondria, if you look them up, they evolved from the body, the human body ingesting or taking in a certain bacteria that evolved into this little energy machine. We love mitochondria. Our next study is going to look at how the mitochondria respond to magnesium. And I say that the mitochondria probably hold the most magnesium of any organelle in the body because the mitochondria run the Krebs cycle. You've heard me talk about this before. There are 8 steps in the Krebs cycle that takes sugar and turns it into ATP energy, adenosine triphosphate. 6 of those 8 steps require magnesium. If you don't have magnesium, you don't have energy. And who knows that even? What happens when you come to your doctor and say, I don't have energy, I'm not sleeping, I have headaches. They say, you're depressed, take this drug, instead of telling you to read my book and take magnesium. Another sidebar, the government finally is getting smart, or at least one, is it a representative? Yeah, US representative has introduced a bill called Sunshine Vitamin House Resolution, calling for the FDA and the CDC to support vitamin D for COVID-19. So look that up. And the words are, in a striking move to recognize the significance and health benefits of vitamin D for COVID-19, U.S. Representative Glenn Grothman introduced House Resolution 116. The resolution recognizes the role of vitamin D that it may play in the fight against COVID-19. The resolution calls out inaction by FDA and other agencies to recognize the importance of vitamin D for immune support during the pandemic. And of course, you know, they need to know about magnesium being necessary for the activation of vitamin D. But, you know, if they can get that passed, that's, you know, one tiny little step. Please, please, please. So actually what people can do, you know, because we keep saying, how can we stop what's going on or help what's going on to resolve? You can phone your senators and your representatives. I've emailed the 2 senators here and said, look, you've got to accept that nutrients are helpful to keep people healthy. And they emailed me back. Of course, they said drugs are the answer, but they do respond to your emails and phone calls. And the more we do that, the more we can make our voices heard. So please do that. And I have a great kind of testimonial story, but I think I'll do the topic first. And we'll go to that when we have, you know, some downtime between calls. So the blog that went out today for today's topic is called How Magnesium, Vitamin D, and Calcium Play Together. And you may have heard this before, but it really is worth repeating, because as the blog says, your body is dependent on precise amounts of vitamins and minerals to function at all, not just at its best. These nutrients work synergistically and often require cofactors to be successful in performing their purpose in the body. The combination of your diet, lifestyle, and level of activity can determine whether you're getting enough of the right ones. And in terms of dependent on precise amounts, I mean, what I say about that, it's not that you have to know how much to take exactly, but you take enough to achieve the daily requirements, and also to have some in storage. And that's what we aim for in the dosing of our complement formulas. I have some for today and have some for tomorrow. So the next section about my 40 plus years of research, um, recommending vitamin K2 as well in this triad of vitamin D, calcium, and magnesium. B6 is important as well, and you get that in your ReAline. And the K2, that's in our D3K2 reset. So we've got them all lined up. As Jenny and I have said, we've got all the formulas for people. So I just jumped ahead here. Um, Understanding how vitamins and minerals work together and how to maximize their effects doesn't have to be confusing. Improving your diet. So we know about that, but the more I look at diet, the more I realize that the soil doesn't have enough nutrients, and that's why uh, I focused on getting all the nutrients in our products. It it doesn't sound right to say, well, I'll just take my pills. But Ginny, when I was in my 20s, I said to myself, wow, wouldn't it be great if we could just take one big pill and not have to worry about what we ate? I don't know what I was thinking back then. I think I was just, wanting everything to be, very easy. Maybe I didn't want to spend time cooking food. Who knows? But seriously, now that I'm taking every one of our products, I really don't need to eat as much as I used to. I only ate maybe two kind of smallish meals a day. And now that it sounds kind of freaky, and I don't know how if other people are experiencing that, but I have the benefit of being able to take all my complement formulas, and I do them every day. So, yeah, I'd like some feedback on that. If people find that they're eating less, which means you're not trying to dredge your nutrients out of your food because you're already getting them in your liquid minerals and your encapsulated vitamins. Um, so we begin with hydration, taking your quarter teaspoon of sea salt in your drinking water, which is half of your body weight in pounds in ounces of water. And that's very important because you need water in your cells to allow these nutrients to work. And the blog goes on. You can find the blog at drcarolyndeanlive.com. Magnesium necessary for 80% of known metabolic functions, and that makes it the most important nutrient. Calcium, that's essential. A lot of people can get it in their diet. 600 milligrams a day is all you need. If you're not eating dairy, if you don't think you're getting enough calcium, or if your blood tests show low calcium, you can take our Recalcia formula, 300 milligrams per teaspoon. And, calcium, I guess I do put it down, but it's important for a lot of things, our bones and teeth. But it is regulated and controlled by magnesium. So it won't work if you don't take your magnesium. And calcium works with magnesium for the transmission of nerve impulses and muscle cell contraction, including cardiac muscle cells. That's why if you have too much calcium, your heart can attack. Calcium can't deliver this effect without being balanced by the relaxation phase of magnesium. Calcium is important for blood clotting, but that might mean that the calcification people are experiencing by taking calcium supplements is causing thick blood that so many people seem to have these days, leading to the overprescription of blood thinning drugs. Our body holds on to calcium more than magnesium. And I give the reason, why we evolved in that way. You can read that in the blog. And our calcium is another picometer mineral, so it's fully absorbed. And that's why I say you might only need 1 to 2 teaspoons of recalcia a day. Vitamin D, we're supposed to get it through the sun. Most people aren't doing that. In our work with Grassroots Health, we've learned a lot about vitamin D, and they've learned a lot from us as well, because they didn't really realize how much magnesium was required to activate vitamin D. And the K2, it's needed to get calcium directed to the bones and teeth and not just precipitate into the arteries. Like magnesium, nearly everyone is deficient in vitamin K2 because our eggs and butter and other natural sources are either missing from the diet or come from industrially raised animals and are not grass-fed. The vitamin B6, that's helpful in the triad of magnesium, calcium, and vitamin D. It's a coenzyme that helps the iron-containing component of red blood cells. It makes the hormone serotonin. It helps process carbohydrates for energy, keeps the nervous system working smoothly, just on and on and on. And it's in our ReAline, and it is in the methylated form. So it is completely absorbed. The B vitamins in ReAline, there are 8 of them in total, and 4 of them are methylated and 4 of them are food-based. And then the essential fatty acids, they increase calcium absorption from the gut by enhancing the effects of vitamin D. So that's another synergism. They also regulate and reduce urinary excretion of calcium, possibly by reducing the production of pro-inflammatory molecules called prostaglandins. Essential fatty acids have also been found to increase calcium deposition in bone, which is not surprising since bone calcification must take place in the presence of a type of fat known as phospholipids, et cetera, et cetera. Essential fatty acids support collagen production, and that vitamin C complex, flute-based vitamin C, is necessary for collagen production as well. They modulate the inflammatory response. It interferes with collagen synthesis, etc. And it turns out that magnesium-dependent enzyme, a particular one, converts the omega-3 and omega-6 essential fatty acids into the anti-inflammatory prostaglandins, which are necessary for heart and overall health. So, I mean, it is intricate. I don't want to overwhelm you with all these words, but I guess just to say that we know what we're doing and why we think these nutrients are important for you to take. And with our omega-3 fatty acid that's coming out, what we've done there is we've taken a non-burping omega-3 from algae instead of fish, which I think are being farmed to extinction to make all the fish capsules that are out there, fish oil capsules. And the blood test that you get with our home test kit, grassroots health test kit, will tell you whether you're getting enough or not. So with these tests, I mean, I used to say, well, let's not bother with tests; they're so inaccurate. But now I know the lab. If everyone's getting their tests through this one lab, this one system, and the people who do sign up for the test, they also complete a questionnaire. And over time, we find out how people are feeling as they're increasing their supplement intake. So we don't want to ignore these test results. It's like ignoring someone who says your house is on fire or your upstairs tub is overflowing. It's the same with nutrients. We can't unknow what we know when we get these tests. And that's what drove me to create these nutrients for our supplementarium. There you go. Okay, Ginny, that's the blog. What have I left out? And will I do a testimonial now or come back to it?
Well, I think that you haven't left anything out of the blog, but I do want to know what you think about these calcium scans or the bone scans, DEXA scans, and how important are those to have?
Right. Yes, I probably talk about those in the ReMyte. Well, it's the ReMyte Recalcia book, where the scans. I mean, first of all, they're ionizing radiation, so that's happening. Ionizing radiation can disrupt your DNA, and it's cumulative. So I don't like that, even though they say, oh, it's just a little bit. But the scans seem to be correlated with like a 30-year-old. They don't take into account the fact that naturally the bones do thin a bit as we age. And it appears, and I don't know 100% that this is true, but my common sense tells me that if they're trying to compare your bones with a 30-year-old, they're using that as a way of getting you back into the doctor's office, get you on some of these terrible bone drugs like Fosamax, and these are drugs that stop your osteoclasts from being produced. The bones are made by osteoblasts with a B, and they are remodeled constantly with osteoclasts with a C. And if you kill the osteoclasts with a C, one would think, oh, that means you're just building bone, you're not breaking it down. But no, what happens is you keep on taking on calcium and magnesium and making new bone, but without it being remodeled properly, it turns brittle. It doesn't go into the right shape. So it turns brittle to the point where dentists won't work on the brittle jaws of women who are on drugs like Fosamax. And we've had enough experience with people when we say get your exercise, because that's huge. I mean, exercise is constantly building your muscles, and those muscles are pulling on your bones. They're little stretchy things, little puppet strings on your bones that actually helps remodel your bones as well. When the first astronauts went up in space, I think it was only a few weeks, they came back with osteoporosis because they didn't have any gravity pulling on their bones, and their bones just started to deteriorate. You've had that if you've been stuck in bed with something for a couple of weeks, your muscles atrophy, everything kind of starts to diminish a bit. So what were we talking about?
We were talking about those scans And
Ah.
yeah.
Yeah, so the scans, who wants to have 30-year-old bones if it means that you're going to be put on drugs to pretend to create those 30-year-old bones? So it's the scans are kind of a scam as far as I can see. But people will get them. We kind of have made use of them because our customers will say, "Oh, I had my bone scan and my bones are no longer deteriorating, or my bones are a little better." So that's how we know that our protocols for telling people to take their much more magnesium, even cut back on the calcium, because calcium can precipitate in your tissues. Aging is related to calcification. Next month, April 8th, I think, Thursday, April 8th, we're going to do a longevity seminar. And some of these words that I'm saying now are in that, I should say, a webinar. So we know these things to be true. Take your magnesium and all your other supplements, get your exercise in, and just smile. Be happy. The worst is over. So there. And back to Ginny. My volume is still on. I know I'm here. Back to you, Ginny. Uh-oh. So will I go on to a testimonial? Waiting
Yep.
for Ginny.
Can you
There
hear
she is.
me?
Yes, now.
I was saying that my brother has become, a great fan of yours, and he's become his own medical anthropologist, investigating all the scenes to see if the people are telling the truth or not. And he sent me a text that he saw an ad for Prolia, and that it's supposed to work and protect and to strengthen bones, but it only works if you take it with calcium and vitamin D.
Oh my
So
goodness.
is that crazy? So why just not make it magnesium, calcium, and vitamin D and be done with it? I mean, isn't that
Oh,
gross?
oh my gosh. Yeah. So they'll say the drug worked and poo-poo the vitamins. Yeah, because all these researchers, they went partly to MD school, I'm sure, and they have no use for nutrition. They just have no use for it, which is really scary because they will just automatically and immediately go to drugs.
Which is the original, nature is the original pharmacopoeia, for crying out loud, right?
Right. Very well said.
It's
That's right.
craziness. Okay.
Yep.
So, what is the next thing we want to chitty chat? Oh, you're going to tell your testimonial. Yes, very good.
Yes. Yeah, this is quite fascinating. It brings up a number of things that we've already talked about when in your introduction. I forget what they are now, why it reminded me of this testimonial. So this gentleman, now it seems he might be in his 70s, but I don't know. He said, "I started with your online program that you offered years ago and have been taking ReMyte for many years. I have suggested it for many other friends and acquaintances and now find myself with a bit of a challenge. I recently ran a few labs on myself, and in both tests, the blood results showed that my magnesium was very low. Now, when I read through customer service, when I read, a history that someone sends in for my comments, I don't read ahead. I don't scan it. I just, when a sentence is said, I'll comment. So here's my comment. I said the serum and even the RBC magnesium tests that are used are not accurate at the ionic cellular level. We are doing university studies to prove the necessity of using ionized magnesium testing. In the meantime, we have to go by how a person feels. See my blog, Gauging Magnesium Deficiency, and I gave the URL. He continues, I've been confident throughout the years that ReMag was keeping my body saturated with magnesium, as I truly trust the product. And I don't know, I might have removed this, but he noted that he was only taking 1 teaspoon and maybe a little more a day. And I said, but if you're only taking 1 teaspoon a day of ReMag, then you can't be saturated. He continues, I now find myself looking for an alternative means to supplement with magnesium, as ReMag appears to not be completing that task sufficiently, at least for me. So I reiterated, but you aren't taking enough. And ReMag is the best absorbed magnesium, which we are proving with our research. So then I just cut and pasted our whole study URL. The study, it was out of University of Illinois, and we started it at Purdue. So we had a third university, our Dr. Taylor, what I'm forgetting his name even. Good grief! I better start eating food in the morning. We had 3 universities that were involved with this study, with placebo crossover blinded control study. And the title is Circulating Ionized Magnesium as a Measure of Supplement Bioavailability, Results from a Pilot Study for Randomized Clinical Trial. And the notes on the study are the following. So I'm going to give the details of what we send out to clinicians. IMAG, or ionized magnesium testing, is the better marker for magnesium. Serum magnesium is bound up and is not usable. Magnesium ions are available to use in the cells. So that's number 1. Number 2, using a molecular size analyzer, a Malvern Zetasizer Nano ZS from the UK. So using this analyzer, we confirmed that the majority of the particle size of ReMag is in the picometer range. The test was repeated 3 times. They didn't believe it. They couldn't believe that this, very strong mineral taste did not allow any laser waves to bounce off. There was nothing to bounce off. The laser bounced through this ReMag liquid. Number 3, ReMag goes to the ionized magnesium status and it's not bound up. Its small size allows it to be absorbed higher up in the GI tract and avoid the laxative effect. And these are all words from Taylor Wallace, our PhD researcher. Number 4, magnesium oxide and magnesium citrate are less bioavailable and larger in size compared to ReMag. Thus, they do not affect ionized magnesium as efficiently. Number 5, elevated ionized magnesium was measurable in the blood within 2 to 4 hours. Our head of research, Dr. Taylor Wallace, said that this fluctuation with only 1 single dose is very important. He said he would not have anticipated mineral electrolytes changing in the blood with 1 single dose. 6, clinical investigations have demonstrated that ionized magnesium, but not serum magnesium, is depressed in a number of clinical conditions such as migraine, diabetes, asthma, high-risk pregnancies. 7, a subclinical magnesium deficiency can occur when serum magnesium levels are within the lower reference range. Therefore, serum total magnesium levels may not be sufficient for diagnosis of deficiency. 8, our findings of a more robust ionized response when compared to serum magnesium are similar to those reported by Altura et al. Now, the Alturas, they wrote a foreword to my book because they were so frustrated that none of their 1,000 papers on magnesium had made a dent in the clinical application of magnesium. I continued. I gave this gentleman, our customer, an audio recording of our radio show with Taylor. And so he said he wanted help with this problem. And he sent more information when we asked him questions. And that's where I found out he was taking 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of ReMag. Oh no, he was only taking the 1 teaspoon. So then I started to say to him, if you're only taking 1 teaspoon, that's only 300 milligrams. That's not even the RDA. The daily amount should be double the RDA. That's 2 teaspoons. ReMyte, you should be taking 1.5 to 2 teaspoons. I don't think he was taking any. ReAline, 2 a day, restructure and RNA drops, complete the basic building blocks for our cells. He said, he's drinking water, but not with the sea salt. I said, that's important to take the sea salt. He said, when I first began using ReMag, I did seem to feel better, but I continued to advance in age. The challenges became more evident. I said, as noted above, you weren't taking enough of the products or you weren't taking all the products or enough of what you were taking. And then he said his supplements, he's taking, a handful of other supplements. And I said, so what I see is that you weren't taking enough of our products to keep improving your health. And you are taking a number of other products, yet you say you are still not feeling as good as you want to feel. If you take the correct amount of our products, you will feel better and better. And he said he wasn't aware of any chronic conditions. And then he proceeded to talk about a 1999 car accident where he was in a coma for 10 weeks, had 8 broken ribs, brain trauma, fractured scapula, and a long rehab. And I told him I would work with Dr. David Holt and his total biology to delve into whether the coma has affected your longevity of life force. And then he shared that for the last several years, he's been studying and completing many courses related to wellness. And he's certified in this, that, and the other, and, studying with 2 more people, on and on. And I said, well, that's all well and good, but the body just needs nutrients that are absorbed at the cellular level and that help create perfect cells. I would say that you could read all my free ebooks at drcarolyndeanlive.com and learn as much as you need to actually feel healthy, which it appears that you have not achieved with all these courses. And he mentioned something about a gut course. I said, gut health has to address yeast overgrowth. And you can read about that in my Reset the Yeast Connection, use our Flora Revive and Pico Silver. And he said, his final words were, just as a side note in closing, it seems the more I learn, the less I know. And I said, well, that's only because each health advocate has to promote their own point of view so they can say they are special. But it does end up being very confusing. All I say is that aging and chronic symptoms are related to mineral deficiencies and yeast overgrowth. Address those and all is well. So there. What do you think of that, Jenny? Did I give him the what for?
I was on mute and you couldn't hear me laughing. I thought, man, Carolyn really gave this guy the business.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it's so sad. I mean, seriously, he could have called customer service, as soon as he didn't feel that great on the ReMag, 1 teaspoon a day. I don't know what people expect. And then they go to a dozen other things that, well, I'm still not feeling well and the ReMag isn't working. So we do, and that's why we have a dozen people on customer service so that can remind people that you need to take more and you need to take more of our products. It's a very simple fix, but
well, I think the next fix is that we're going to have to start auditing people's orders, and when we find they're not ordering enough, we're just going to start sending it to their homes. And then we'll show up there and ask to see their blender bottle full of their mineral sea salt. Oh, people are funny, aren't they, Carolyn?
Right. Well, yeah, we could put Big Brother to better use than it's being used right now. We could put Big Brother to use to make people healthier. They
That's
would,
right.
yeah, they would like that, I'm sure. But yeah, that's what we're up against. And again, that's why we have such great customer service. You know, Ginny said right from day one, well, you know, I'm not going to make Carolyn answer all these emails. This is, you know, kind of repetitive information that we can give out. And we send these words out to people when they get their orders. We give them brochures, we give them access to our webinars and radio shows and 22 free health books. But you know, some people just want to be heard, and they want, you know, us to reinforce what they probably know by their own common sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
I think even now the one thing that would be easier is if we weren't prohibited by the FDA, by what we could say on the labels, because honestly, if we could say, a saturation dose can be up to 4 teaspoons and this kind of that, but the FDA really does control that kind of thing. And I guess to the certain benefit, I mean, there's always a plus side to what they're accomplishing, but because you don't want people to go overboard, but certainly saturation is saturation, and that's different than health maintenance. And we always try to describe that, and we'll just have to keep working on it. But you gave him some good information, Carolyn, and that's what matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was reading it, I realized, boy, I really can't. But I think where I was going, he's taking all these courses, and he's just missing the basics. They do try to complexify things, and I remember that right in the beginning. My dear mentor, Jeff Bland, poor guy, the Bland diet, but Jeffrey Bland, PhD, he came and did naturopathic seminars for us when I was doing my naturopathic training. And this guy was just incredible. Motor mouth, just rattling off study after study. And we were all entranced. And then I realized, oh my gosh, he's kind of hypnotizing us with all this, all just words, can we apply them? And I realized that a lot of people are they are mesmerized by the science and the jargon and everything. And it makes it seem more complex than it is. It really does. It is not that complex. And I guess I lucked into the, reframing of the complexity by realizing this whole magnesium deficiency business early on, because I have magnesium deficiency, head to toe magnesium deficiency. So I was able to, break through that door. I also had yeast overgrowth and realized it's a huge inflammatory process in the body with all these toxins and stirring the body up. And if we can take care of that, and thank goodness, finally I realized that with the Flora Revive, the antifungal in it, and the Pico Silver, we could be working with yeast overgrowth and not have to go on these incredibly tedious and complex yeast detox protocols. So, I was able to just dumb it down and make it easier and not go into the complexities. And yes, I could take any supplement out there and make it the big end all and be all if I wanted just to sell a product. But that's not the point. We want people to take responsibility for their health, realize we've got it laid out for them to just take their minerals and take their nutrients, support their immune system, and just be healthy, be able to meet the stress in the world with a healthy body.
Yes, because there's a lot of crazy juju going on out there. My God, these the situation that we're in right now with a health crisis that has gone way, way wrong is everybody, like Carolyn always says, each man for himself or woman or child. And seriously, I mean, you've got really high quality stuff to work with now. And we just hope that you share the message, share the information, so that other people know that they have a chance and an opportunity to protect their immune system and to fortify their bodies, because we're in for a little bit of a ride with this whole situation. I thought it would be over by now, but it doesn't seem to be heading that way, does it, Carolyn?
Well, the virus may be over, but they're not letting people know that it may be over, and it may be that people who are shut down and masked up and then vaccinated are becoming more vulnerable. Yes. To whatever else there is out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is just they've been wearing a mask, they've been locked inside, their immune system's already compromised, and then they're going to get a vaccine that's an experimental product. Mm-hmm. And, the speculation is the beginning of autoimmune disorders, heart, lung, and brain cognitive issues. So, I mean, fortifying the body is so important if that's the direction you're going, and or fortifying the body so you don't go that direction. Because I know there's a lot of populations, professional populations, whether it's hospital workers or I've seen it the whole scam. The whole, lance of everything, from correctional officers to police officers to airline people. I mean, people are not taking the vaccine. So if you're not going to take it, fine, good for you. Okay. But then you better do something still, right?
Right. Now, Bob's hovering over me. I'm afraid of what he's going to say. What are you going to say?
I've observed you for decades, 53 years.
Me? Yeah. Oh, me.
And I've monitored your practice. I know a lot about stuff because you told me. I was the guinea pig. And for the last 5 years, there's no doubt, people, Carolyn is the greatest doctor that ever existed in humanity, barring Jesus Christ. Okay? Carolyn is the greatest doctor in front of, and there's new problems coming, and Carolyn's got solutions for them too.
Ah! Did you hear that, Ginny?
Ooh, how exciting.
Ooh. Thank you, Bob. Yes, you said enough. You can go away now. Do the laundry. Oh, there's my brilliant Bob. People ask me, because they never meet Bob. I hide him. They say, oh, is your husband a doctor? And I say, no, he's too smart for that.
It's very, very cute. Okay. Let me just say this. Lorraine from our friends up north in Canada at True Health Canada is on the YouTube with us. We got her website straightened out. It's rnareset.truehealthcanada.ca. You can put your email in there now to be on her mailing list so that you always get product updates. The ReMag is in Canada. She is distributing it. We'll send out an email this week reminding everybody, but be sure to make your connection with her and get on her mailing list so she can not only let you know about what she's doing with the products, but also when ReMag lotion is available and also when other products are added to her store, because we still have to go through the health approval process for every one of our products up there to get them into Canada, just like we're doing, looks like we did with the ReMag. So very, very good. And
okay, I typed in RNA reset, truehealthcanada.ca, and it didn't go.
RESET, reset, truehealthcanada.ca. Reset
reset. No,
dot.
Yep. And it seems to be going, it went, okay, so reset.truehealthcanada.ca. Awesome.
There we go. So there's our Canadian connection, and more fun things will be happening in Canada this year as the year goes on. So we're very excited about what's going on in that regard. And let's see what else we have to talk about. I think,
Well, you mentioned the the ReMag lotion. I didn't CC you this. I was a little bit embarrassing, but I'll further embarrass myself. I wrote to the new manufacturer, and I totally begged him to send us the ReMag lotion with all haste. I said, everything depends on the ReMag lotion. I just couldn't stand it anymore. I said, you have to send it. You know what? Scoop it up, put it in a plastic bag, send it to us now. So hopefully that wakes him up a bit. We've been waiting, what, a year? Has it been a year?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Ah.
It's been 18 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it's the only one of its kind. And, people are just desperate for it. So, yes, so that's happening. I do have a quick testimonial. Let me do that till the top of the hour, maybe. Okay, Ginny?
Yes, of course.
This is another thank you, Doug testimonial. I thought it was so sweet because we got one last week as well. We get them every day, but some of them we just have to say. So this is from, do I have a name? It's a Carolyn. So Carolyn says, I'd like to give an update on how I'm feeling taking ReMag. I'm on day 9 and have started feeling a bit better. My reasons for starting ReMag is palpitations, anxiety, and due to the pandemic, I was starting to feel depressed. I'd heard and read so much on ReMag and finally thought, what can it hurt? So let's just say a sidebar here. A lot of people will say that, oh, I've been hearing about it for years. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll finally do it. I'm like, gosh, be quicker, people. And she said, I admit I did read some scary stories on detox and side effects taking ReMag. Now that's not real. That's not true, except when people start glugging it down straight from the bottle and they say it tastes yucky. But I'm sidebarring here again, but we've overcome that with, you take it with our vitamin C berry powder and it tastes fine. So then she says, however, when I contacted customer service the very first time and talked with Doug, letting him know I was already taking NeuroMag and was nervous getting started, Doug helped start me on a very low dose along with the sea salt water and reassured me I'd be just fine and would have to eventually taper off the NeuroMag because ReMag would take care of those needs and more. Sure enough, on day 5, I decided I'd try going without the NeuroMag because I was feeling more anxious. So I skipped the NeuroMag and did just fine. I've completely stopped it. I have worked my way up to 1 teaspoon starting today. I don't know why some are saying ReMag tastes horrible, as that couldn't be any further from the truth. I mix mine in 36 ounces of cold water with sea salt and take a nice big drink every hour throughout the day. My anxiety is better. This is 9 days, folks. My anxiety is better. My palpitations are still concerning, but don't seem as bad. I was concerned because my heart rate was starting to drop and then could suddenly become elevated. So I was watching that and will continue taking ReMag. Some relief from the anxiety alone has been a huge relief. Thank you so much. I've talked to Doug and 2 other ladies and have to say your customer service team rocks. Thank you. So isn't that awesome? At the top of the hour. Ginny. Come back to me, Ginny. Bob's hovering again.
I can, yeah.
I have a quick testimonial.
Quick testimonial. Quick.
Walking home from the beach last night, I bumped into 2 different couples at separate times, 20 minutes apart, and they both said, what the heck's going on with you? You're glowing. That's true.
Yeah, Bob is glowing. Can't be helped.
Oh, that's so awesome. Bob is a glower.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. All right, so we're at the top of the hour. We're going to have a sip of our ReMag water, a brief station identification break, and we'll be back with hour 2 and your phone calls. Lots of people lined up. Hit *9 if you want to talk to Dr. Dean next hour. Hang out with us. Thanks.
be back with Hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Complement formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Hour 2, Dr. Carolyn Dean live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. So glad to have you with us. This is always, of course, one of my favorite parts of the show, which is when everybody gets to call in and talk to Dr. Dean. Sometimes we get to calls in the first hour, but we usually have a lot to say. And so it's usually the second hour where everybody chimes in and gets to say their words and ask their questions. And it's always so fun to listen to Carolyn. She always has something new and interesting to say. I never get bored listening to her. And today she even said something that was so sweet to me. We were talking about the longevity webinar, and she said that muscles are medicine for your body, using your muscles. Carolyn, say some more words about that, and then we'll take some phone calls.
Right. I think I sort of dipped into it a little bit earlier, that the muscles work on your bones to pull against them and give them a reason to remodel and to build up the bone matrix, and also to remodel it in the way the muscles want the bones to interact, I guess you could say. But there's also the muscles themselves, they help prevent insulin resistance. They're a way of your body metabolizing glucose. So that's important. I mean, I have in my PowerPoint, I have all the words, and I don't mind talking about them here. Because it's always good to reinforce these things. So I start talking about move your muscles. Exercise is very important. And when people say that, I mean, when doctors say it, sometimes patients do listen, but we think, oh yeah, exercise, sure. But then when you hear, various things like there are over 600 muscles in the body, and they're 40% of our body weight. And the heart muscle pumps your blood, and moving blood through all your arms and legs and everything occurs with the muscles. Your lymphatics move and lymph through and toxins through the lymphatic system because of the muscles. And I had forgotten that. I'm just stopping and writing lymph. Expanding, contracting organs, that's your lungs. Facilitating movement in the digestive tract. There are muscles in your intestines. They can go into cramps and spasms if you don't have enough magnesium. And lean muscles, there's something called the brain-derived neurotrophic factor that is created in the muscles that increases cognitive function. The lean muscles help maintain blood sugar regulation and insulin sensitivity, increase metabolism through thermogenesis, so they keep you warm or cool you down as you need. Decrease inflammation, they increase testosterone, they increase human growth hormone, they assist in the conversion of thyroid hormone, they increase mitochondrial synthesis and reduce pain. And that's the muscles functioning in activity. If you're lying there, your muscles aren't doing much, but when your muscles are active, they do all these things. Improve immune function, give you better prognosis if you're confronted with a cancer diagnosis, fight against all kinds of various health conditions. I have a list. Assist in chronic disease prevention, increase bone density, and prevent structural imbalances and injuries, support and protect organs, provide support for joints, ligaments, tendons, they prevent injury, improve moods, increase adaptive abilities to various stressors as we age, increase healing by promoting growth factor. And how do you do that? You do resistance training. Well, what can that be? What I do is I carry 1 3-pound weight with me, and I do my arm exercises as I'm walking. So I'll walk my 1 to 2 hours and build up my little arm muscles as I'm building up my leg muscles with the walking. And you can go into, real weight training, lifting weights, using resistance bands, but that probably requires some coaching in the beginning, so your body's in the proper position. When you do certain aerobic exercises, you use your body weight as resistance. I'm doing a 15-minute workout with this little Asian girl doing my push-ups and couch dips that use your arm muscles, and lunges and squats. I mean, having the YouTube videos for doing my yoga and then this aerobic exercise is really fun. I don't listen to their words anymore. I usually am playing something else. That suits me because I have to multitask things. I can't just do one thing at a time. So that's what you do. Do that, and you will defy, this thing we call aging, which I don't think has to exist.
Very
Period.
good. Outstanding.
Over to you, Jenny.
Very good. Outstanding. Can you hear me? Oh. Okay.
Jenny rushing for her unmute button. Here she comes.
I think I'm having
Oh,
problems.
it's me.
I can hear you, Jenny.
Oh, it's me.
I hear both you.
Thank you. I know, it's like my volume, my button goes mute. Thank goodness you can keep hearing me, but then I don't hear you when I'm yelling. Okay, here we are. So what'd you think of that?
I thought that was great. Thank you so much, because I think that's really important to know. Wonderful.
Yep.
All right, let's take some phone calls, shall we? Woohoo!
Yes, let's do that.
So you should know the number by now, have it memorized, committed to your memory, and also your cell phone, 646-558-8657, and then the ID number 8836953587. Ridiculous number, but we are putting up with it anyway because so much we want you to talk to Dr. Dean. But we've got it all in our literature and on your YouTube now, and so eventually I will get over it. But in the meantime, call the number, use the ID, and then as many of you do, and then hit that *9 on your keypad, *9, to raise your hand here in the studio, and we'll put you on with Dr. Dean. And we're going to start with the glorious, the most excellent area code 310. If you could hit the blue button or *6 to unmute your phone, area code 310. Hit that star. There you go. You're on the line with Dr. Dean. And could you give us your name and then state your question or comment, please?
Are you talking to me, Jenny?
Oh, Ruth. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I'm talking to you. How are you?
Not bad for an old woman.
Hi, Ruth. What's happening?
Hi, Dr. Dean. Well,
your boyfriend Bob here will probably come running down and want to talk to you. We don't let him on the show anymore. He's too disruptive.
He's got a lot of vitality.
He does. That's right.
So I think things are very changed. You're in a different place. I tried calling that radio station. Are you also on YouTube? Is that what I see?
Yes,
No.
Jenny, we're everywhere. Yeah. Jenny will tell you.
So while I can talk to you, I want to talk about something. All right. Now, it's 2 years since I did tell you when I got it that I had a concussion, a bad concussion. My friend's dog jumped in my face. I don't know what he wanted to see, but I fell backwards and got knocked out. And then I was, it's been 2 years, a little over 2 years, and I think I'm better.
Wow.
And I had gotten so I depended on the lotion that you have. Rather than I seem to be doing so much better if I lotioned up my body at night rather than taking all the other things. So I can tell from having listened to you a full hour that may not be perfect. And since there is no lotion, I can't buy it right now. I noticed on Radiant, is that their name? That's a website where I once bought some of your things, that they are still selling that other mineral, magnesium.
Right. I mean,
and suggesting that you mix it And it suggests that you mix it up, make a lotion yourself. But of course, that made me mad. I didn't want to do that.
Right. Well, what about, Ruth? Why not just take the ReMag liquid and put it on your skin? Hello?
I used to do that in the beginning. Why didn't I stop doing that? I don't remember why. Yeah, I could do that. I have a lot of it. Can you do that? And why not? I could also do it with a ReMyte.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can do that with both, because if it's getting, what it is when you put it on your skin, from head to toe, you get the magnesium goes directly into that area. It doesn't have to, be swallowed and go here and there, and may not end up where you want it to. So some people do find that it works better for them. And I would like you to take it by mouth as well, of course, and build it up and, take all the other nutrients. But sometimes people get focused on just taking one thing.
Well, I always take the ReMag and the ReMyte, and I get my potassium from my bottle of Bragg's. What is it?
Aminos. The Bragg's aminos, right?
No, not the aminos. The oh dear, never mind. I do that nowadays. In the middle of a conversation, I forget the word.
Yeah, I know.
But then I'm only 96. So
good for
and
you.
I want to keep on. I don't like. I would rather not be doing many of the things that I'm being urged to do by my family. But I finally decided I have to do them because they are doctors, and they may be a little old-fashioned, but I'm doing it. Anyhow.
Well, let me say this, Ruth. What about if we get Julie to call you, say, every 2 weeks and check in with you and just reinforce, are you taking this?
What I should be doing, yeah.
Yeah, because
okay.
It's easier to not do things, but if you
Who
know...
is Julie?
Julie is one of our customer service people, and
okay. I got some of your customer service people don't even know what I'm talking about. So I stopped calling. I forget who it was. I don't want to pick on anybody anyhow.
No, what it is...
But, like I knew much more than the person who should be advising me.
Well, we aren't there. They aren't there to be a doctor or a health coach. They're just there to talk about the products. The FDA won't let us say too much.
Yeah, I know.
You'll develop a relationship with Julie, and
that'll be wonderful.
Yes, so that's what you need.
Yeah. That's really great.
Yeah.
Now, see, I realized while I was waiting and listening to your first hour that I stopped taking the powder every morning.
Oh,
because I didn't want to get the sweetener. And they've been very meticulous about not getting any sweetener because my MD kept telling me that I was approaching...
diabetes?
What's that other, before you get it, something else?
Pre-diabetes.
Yeah, pre-diabetes.
But the restructure...
So I cut out everything.
Ruth, you're talking about the restructure protein powder?
Yes.
It doesn't have a sweetener, it just has stevia. There's no sweetener.
How did I get lost? Okay,
well, see,
anyhow, let's say, all right, I made a mistake. That would be great.
Yeah.
I can admit to you that I do get very involved with trying to feel, be healthy and survive this unpleasant pandemic.
Right.
And a lot of the things that I'm told to do, I don't agree with, but I do them.
Right.
Because I would rather go the completely natural way with everything.
I know.
But I did take the first part of the vaccine. I have to take the second part.
Right. So all we're going to do is set you up with Julie every 2 weeks. And if you want her to talk to you every week, that's fine. But that might be too much. But that means that, when you hear something, then she can ask me even if she can get directly to me, so that you won't have to, have these things just lingering. And if you haven't been taking your restructure, that's terrible, because that's such a good morning breakfast for you.
Okay, I did get involved with this medical medium, and I started doing celery juice in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good in a way. It does moves my bowels very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that was all right. I didn't get nuts about it, because the only thing I was inclined to get nuts about was following your system. Oh, and also I have to say this, that I do have to be careful how I spend money, so I don't buy everything.
Yeah.
Because I want enough for the next 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my goal, sweetie.
Yes, very good. I know I did this celery juice business just to see what all the fluff was about. I just couldn't stand all the work that was involved. Buying it, cleaning it, juicing it, cleaning my juicer, drinking it. I mean, oh man. It was painful. It's like, if someone is going to go to all that trouble to do it, the placebo effect is really strong. I
think I better shut up and not tell you about the other thing I just started to try to do.
Well, these things you can run by Julie, and as I said, she can run them by me. So let's leave it as that.
Lovely.
Okay,
that's more than enough. I'm very delighted.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's very good. Now, and you're going to give her my phone number.
Yes, Jenny, we have Ruth's number. We should have it in our system because you order from us, but we'll just make sure. And otherwise, we'll email you, get your number, and introduce you to Julie.
That is very good. Wonderful. Okay, I love you, sweetie. I'm glad you're still there and willing to talk to us.
Oh, yes.
That's very nice of you. And Bob doesn't, he lets you do it, right?
He lets me do it.
Well, that's how I lived in my marriage. I did what he let me do. I didn't do what I wanted to. Never mind. He was fine. Nice man.
Well, Bob is still trainable. When I find that the compliments are decreasing, I just remind him, Bob, you know that you have to give me at least 2 compliments a day. And he's all right. You have to tell them what you want. You cannot just expect it. Luckily, he's upstairs doing the laundry, so I'm okay.
See, I heard you tell him. My life partner died some time ago.
Oh.
But no, it's fine. All right. It's quite all right.
Right. I know years ago when you first started calling and you talked about your new boyfriend, Bob was so excited. He thought that was just adorable.
He also died.
Oh dear.
Well, I'm the old lady,
Yeah, you'll outlive us all. That's wonderful. And we're going to make sure that happens to get you back on track with the different supplements.
Okay, I'm gonna do it immediately.
Yeah, a lot easier than drinking a whole stalk of celery every day. Good grief. Okay, my dear. Wonderful to hear from you. You're welcome. Yes. God bless, Ruth. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And Jenny, bye-bye.
That's so wonderful. Jenny, my dear.
Yes, I'm here. Julie will definitely call Ruth tomorrow. No problem. I have Ruth's number. I have it committed to my heart. Very good.
Wonderful.
Very good. All right, let's press on. Go ahead. Nope.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, did say that she was now 96, and that's just awesome. And she sounds great, and we'll be able to help. We'll be able to help.
Yes, but also
mhm.
let's just say that when Ruth first started calling into the show, she was 90. So Ruth's been calling in for 6 years, which is fantastic, right?
Yeah, that's right. And we started talking about our over 80 club, but yes, we have an over 90 club as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, she's
hmm
such a sweetheart. So
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be able to hook her up with Julie. That'll be fun.
hmm
Okay, wonderful. Let's press on with our important agenda of taking these wonderful phone calls. And again, *9 on your keypad if you have a question or comment for Dr. Dean. And we'll go to the next area code 718-718, asking you to unmute your phone, *6. And welcome, welcome. You're back. Come on in.
Thank you, Ginny. This is Alan from Brooklyn again. First of all, I'm really excited about the omega-3 product. Can't wait for it to come out. And you can bet I'll place one of the first orders.
Now, why is it? You tell us why. Why are you excited about that, Alan?
Well, because I don't like those fish burps that you get from the regular products.
Yes, yeah. My sentiments exactly. Very good. And
yeah.
let me just interject a little advertisement here. Did you see we're putting in vitamin A and vitamin E as well?
Well, that's perfect. I mean, because I'm not taking any vitamin A or E right now, so that'll should definitely complement it.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Excellent. A quick question. A couple of days ago, I started getting a burning sensation in my nose when I breathe. And I thought maybe I'm coming down with a cold, so I tried the Dr. Levy's suggestion of hydrogen peroxide, but it just burned it also, so I stopped that. And I was wondering if you think I should vaporize Pico Silver or just drip it in directly to the nose.
Is it, what part of the nose? Front, middle, back?
It's like the nostrils, it feels like.
Do you think it's, what is it, the drying in the air from the winter heat?
Everything's possible, but it started the other day and it was extremely warm here, so I don't know. You know, I thought maybe I was coming down with COVID, but I take so much of your stuff, I probably wouldn't have the normal symptoms if I was.
Okay, what I would do is a Pico Silver. I would nebulize or inhale or squirt in Pico Silver, because that doesn't have any acidity to it. What should I say? It doesn't burn, and people pet it in their eyes. When I get little itchy eyelids, sometimes the eyes, I don't know if it's yeast or what, I'll just spray Pico Silver right around my eyes and sort of dab it around, and that itching goes away. So
okay, I'll definitely try putting some into the nose. Right. How much would you say?
A couple of, well, if we have these cute little squirt bottles that Ginny found, so you could squirt it in, or anything that has a mister, just direct it at your nose. If not, I mean, you can put half a teaspoon in the palm of your hand and just snort it up. What I would also do is get some white petroleum jelly. I use a calendula ointment that's has calendula, the healing herb, in a white petroleum base. And I'll just, with my little finger, every night I do this, because even here I get dry at night because I have a fan going. And especially if I'm on mainland or if there's heat involved in the winter, my nasal passages get extremely dry and irritated. So
it could be, for years since before I took your Pico Silver, I wasn't able to breathe through my nose until I started taking the Pico Silver. Oh. So this would have never happened, but I can't get over it. I mean, I just take I think it's about a half teaspoon every day I take of that, and it's great stuff, amazing.
Right. Wow. So those two things should give you some relief.
I'm going to try it, and I'll tell you what happens. Thank
wonderful. Oh, thank you, Alan. It's good to hear from you. You sound very healthy and vibrant. I'm glad you're surviving up there.
They all get COVID around me, and I just keep on taking your magnesium, ReMyte, and all the other stuff. And I just tried the what is that called? The barley drops. I can't remember what they're
RNA
called.
reset drops, right?
I got it when the RNA reset drops. I tried them when you had them on sale. They taste absolutely delicious. I was thinking of mixing them with ice cream, but you said to take it plain, so I guess I can't do that.
Oh, good for you. That's wonderful. That just shows how ascended you are, that they taste so good, right?
They do taste good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That just goes to show you one man's RNA drops is another man's ice cream. So, hey, we're not knocking that. Remember in the beginning when everybody wanted tobacco and Doritos and some tasted like pepper, and we really did focus on what it tasted because it was a unique taste creation in everybody's mouth.
Yeah, I tasted tobacco, dirty dirt and tobacco, and I realized I was probably detoxifying the tobacco that the tobacco smoke I put up with as a kid with my dad smoking. So yeah, it can be a detoxifier, but Alan's such a great guy. He's doing wonderfully. What a great attitude.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very good. Very positive. And that's 99 and 9/10% of the battle, right, Carolyn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. Again, taking calls tonight with our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean. And if you're here on the line, want to talk to Carolyn, you've got to hit *9 on your keypad to raise your hand so we can bring you into the studio. Right now, we're going to go to area code 719, asking 719 to unmute. 719 *6 719. There you are. Hello, hello.
Hi. This is Pamela.
Hey, Pamela.
Hi, Jenny and Dr. Dean.
Hello.
I'm excited to be back. I have a couple of comments and then some questions. I spent 10 days out of the last couple of weeks doing a cardiovascular health class. And I just thought I'd let you know that a number of people on that, these are all kinds of health care practitioners, said that it's very important to have magnesium for the heart and that most people are very deficient in it.
Wow. Very good.
I thought that.
Yeah. Very good.
Now, a little earlier you asked about feedback on eating much. And I just noticed the last week or two that I'm not eating as much either. So I'm hoping that means that I'm getting enough minerals in me.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've observed it for a long time and I'm just talking about it now and getting feedback. So I think it does. I really do. It's interesting.
Well, I was glad of that because I was starting to gain weight.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Also wanted to say that I am also looking forward to the omega-3 because I'm really wanting to get on some vitamin A for my eyes. I have a cataract, I've been told, and I wasn't terribly concerned about it because I know that cataract surgery isn't anything real serious. But in this class that I just did, there was a talk just about eyes and so forth, and they were talking about how just a cataract in the eye would be indicative of some very serious health problem down the road, and it could even be cardiovascular. So I'm wanting to get on the vitamin A for that, and I don't know. He had some recommendations of testing that could be done about some eye doctors that most of them don't know about it, but he had recommendations for that. And he said that most doctors don't even though they can do the testing, they don't really tell you what it means or anything. So he said that we could send all that information to him, and then he would go through it. Does that sound good?
Well, I mean, you see where that's going, Pamela, where, well, you have this condition and then, oh, it's associated with such and such. And then when you look at the details, it's like, well, 20% of people who have cataracts have a certain this or that. And it just puts negative information in a person's head. It doesn't help. I mean, what are you going to do about all that? What I say about cataracts, if there's a relationship between calcification and building up this cataract. Calcification is a sign of aging. It's a sign of a lack of magnesium. So I just tell people keep taking their magnesium. And then I think I have a blog about cataracts or eye conditions, and it's vitamin C, hydration, magnesium, and what some people are doing for their eye is they are squirting in a bit of pico silver around and in their eyes. And if you really want to get on a protocol, you can put 1 drop of the RNA reset in an eye cup with half filled with just saline, and rinse your eyes just once or twice a week. When I started to do that a while back, just every day, it actually detoxified my eyes too much. I started getting discharge. So I just do it once or twice a week. So there's lots you can do for your eye. And you are perfectly right, Pamela, that, the cataract surgery, they've done such a great job on it that we don't really have to worry about cataracts. But what it means to the body is too much calcium, and keep doing your magnesium.
Yeah, well, he was saying that it was indicative of too much inflammation throughout the body or something like that. So do you think you can get rid of the cataract by doing some of these things that you were just mentioning?
I don't know. I mean, I'll ask Ginny. Ginny, have we heard people talking about their cataracts receding? I'm sure it has to do with, how far along they progressed. But I don't hear our customers talking about that they're getting cataracts. I mean, that's going to be a study that we do in the future with surveys with our customer base. Is how are they, are we preventing all kinds of conditions? What do you think, Jenny? Have you heard?
I think, maybe once or twice over the course of years, people will say that they've seen an improvement. And that was really when they were using the RNA drops and the saline. And we were really focusing on that quite a bit. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that was probably back in like 2016, 2017. We don't really go into that as much as we used to because we're kind of more conscious of different things like that. So off-label use, that's what it's called. But I think that's one of the challenges is we don't have a product for cataracts. So we can't advise off-label use, and then harvesting those testimonials is difficult. But we'll be interested to hear yours, Pamela, on the radio show because we can say anything we want here.
Okay, so did you say 1 drop of RNA drops and how much saline?
Those little tiny plastic eye cups you can get for rinsing the eyes. Yeah, it ends up just being like a teaspoon of saline. What I do is get the contact lens saline with no preservative.
Okay.
Did you know that years ago, I used to wear contact lenses, and years ago, the saline that you use to rinse your, hold your contact lenses in and put in your eyes, it had thimerosal in it, which is mercury.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Right in your eyeball. Here you go. Have a little dose of mercury. So get, preservative-free saline, and that is available. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
be fine. We are the experiment. We are the experiment.
Yeah. I like doing all this experimenting.
That's great.
So now I have another question about, I know in the Candida diet you have mentioned, I mean, if you have Candida, I know you don't recommend the whole diet, but I think you mentioned one time not to eat more than 2 pieces of fruit a day. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, that's what I've said. And
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you consider avocado a fruit?
No.
Okay, great. That's what I thought. Because I'm using that in my smoothie and just little bit other fruit. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Probably my last question is the last time I was on, I mentioned this scanner thing that I was looking at and getting, and you thought you were going to look it up or anything. Did you check that out at all?
I think I did. Oh, but I don't remember what I learned. Yeah.
Well, here's the question: Is any kind of scan radiation in it?
I don't remember that it had, but I'd have to go back, or you'd have to tell me again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the name is Solex, Solex. But I just thought, well, maybe all scans are radiation. So I wanted to check on that for sure.
4X, Forex?
No, F as in Sam.
Oh.
Solex.
Solex scanner. Yeah, because 4X. Solex scanner. Industrial scale. I'm just quickly looking it up here.
Oh, you're looking it up right now.
Right. Yeah, it's so easy these days to look things. Scan your entire body field, optimize its frequencies in just minutes.
Yeah.
Non-invasive frequency scan. Yeah, it does not look like it has X-ray radiation.
Okay, great.
Right. And the thing is, with these scans, I mean, they've been around, forever, always gaining, sort of going further, gaining more and more frequencies that they check, where they check people's energy fields. But I'm not that keen on them because they can scare a person into thinking they've got 100 different diseases. They give you this list of all the things wrong with you, and to me that is kind of a negative way to approach the body.
I didn't get that that's what they were doing with this particular one.
Okay. Well, it's not a radiation, it's not X-ray, but like I was saying earlier, if a person takes care of their minerals and their yeast overgrowth, then that's most of the battle. But then if you want to check things out and, just look for details, certainly these energy instruments are good, as long as someone isn't just trying to tell you that you have all kinds of things wrong with you so that you'll buy their supplements.
Oh, no, they don't even have supplements, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think so. I got to look into it a little bit more yet, but I just thought it might be good for me to check on more things and what they call optimizing.
Right. Right.
Their parts of my body. That's why I was thinking of doing it.
Sure. Good.
But you're saying that you think that just doing the minerals can do all that.
Well, I mean, it's not just simply doing the minerals. Like I said earlier, if you heard my reading that the gentleman who was saying, well, the 1 teaspoon of ReMag didn't help, what's wrong? And he's doing all these courses and doing all these tests and thinking his magnesium is low, and why is it low? Well, I told them, read my books, read the information, just common sense information that I've learned over the 50 years, and put that into play and see what's left over. It's like saturate yourself with the magnesium, because there's over 65 magnesium deficiency conditions. And
Right, yeah.
like the cataracts, what do I say? Oh, there's calcium involved. So the magnesium is going to help if you're saturated. I don't plan to get cataracts, for example. And when...
Well, I was shocked.
Yeah. So go to drcarolyndeanlive.com and click on the books and start reading through the books and see what information you pick up that could be helpful to your position.
Okay. Yeah. That was my next question, is how to get to the books. I looked online and I couldn't find them.
Yeah, we have to hide them. We can't put them, the FDA won't let us educate people on our website where you buy the product. So it's drcarolyndeanlive.com. And that's got the radio show archives and all the books and the webinars. All the information is there.
Well, I looked it up just before, the first hour of the thing here, and I could not see where it said books, but I'll check again. If
you do drcarolyndeanlive.com/books, it'll come up directly. But
there.
books is right at the top of that website, right at the very top, one of the links.
Right, yeah, that's where I was looking. I didn't seem to notice it. Okay, well, I will check that out.
Okay, great. Thanks for calling in again, Pamela. Take care.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Jenny.
Yep. I was talking to myself completely and totally. I said Pamela always has such fun things to say. Thank you for calling in, Pamela. Let's go to our next area code 937, area code 937. I'm sending the unmute button to you, 937. Are you there? *6 on your phone to unmute. And we will get you. There you are. Welcome to the show. You're talking with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Yeah, this is David Hostetler.
Hello, David.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, this is the first time I ever listened in, and I've really enjoyed listening in. My question is, my wife, she has sore legs. It's not the knees. It's above the legs, below the legs, or above the knee and below the knee. Mm-hmm. And there are times where she can hardly walk. She has to rest and get her legs up. Then she'll get up and go again. And she is taking the magnesium. That is all that she's taking at this time, the ReMag.
Right. David, tell me, how old is your wife, if you would?
61.
And how long has she had the sore legs?
Well, she had it here a while back, about maybe 2 months ago, and then it got better. Then all of a sudden it got worse. It got worse again.
And how much ReMag is she taking?
I think she's up to a teaspoon a day.
Okay. And when she first had it, was that when she first started taking the ReMag and maybe got a bit better?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just leap to a thought here. When you first start taking magnesium, the body, gets pretty excited. The muscles especially need a lot of magnesium. Mm-hmm. And what can happen in the beginning, it can rush right to where it's needed, and then the symptoms are helped. But then because magnesium does 1,000 different enzyme processes in the body and 80% of metabolic functions, the magnesium gets pulled off to everywhere else, from your hair follicles down to your toenails. And so what the body is saying is, give me more. And 1 teaspoon is only 300 milligrams, and the RDA is 350 to 450 milligrams. And I tell people they need at least 600 and sometimes 900 milligrams, which is up to 3 teaspoons. So what, now if, I don't know if the taste is bothering her, we have our vitamin C powder. It's a berry powder that takes away the taste. Don't increase it quickly, just increase by a 1/4 teaspoon, every couple of days, so that you don't get the laxative effect. Put it in the sea salted water, sip it through the day. But right away, you could tell her to put, a teaspoon actually in her palms, and then quickly, gently rub it on the legs where it hurts, because that it'll get it right to those muscles, and it'll help relax them. They're in sort of a spasm for some reason. It may be just that she's deficient in magnesium. There's a certain point in life where we just don't have enough, or either stress or whatever else is going on that uses up magnesium.
I did forget to mention she did start using the magnesium lotion, the ReMyte lotion.
Oh, good.
Rubbing
yes.
on her legs. And you mentioned stress. Our youngest daughter is getting married in a month, so yeah, she has a little bit of stress.
Right. Okay. Oh, that'll do it. Tell her to put 2 teaspoons of ReMyte lotion on her legs then. But see, that that can be a worry, and it's a place to put your anxiety. It's like, instead of having to worry about the wedding and the planning, she worries about her legs. You know what I'm saying? It's like displacing the problem. But if you can reassure her that from what it sounds like, she started it, felt a bit better, did not keep increasing the magnesium, and then it seems to get worse because the body just needs more.
Okay, I will tell her that. And one other question I had: my sister has spurs on her feet, calcium deposits. And she's not taking anything as far as of your products. I was just wondering what would be good for that.
So the spurs, are they the ones on the back of the heels?
Yeah.
Heel spurs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, besides wearing sandals, what you start doing is rubbing the ReMyte lotion or just the ReMyte liquid in that area, because what the magnesium is going to do is help mobilize the calcium that's in a place that it shouldn't be. It's not going to mobilize anything but calcium that's where it shouldn't be, or in soft tissues. And we've had a lot of people who've told us that doing that has been helpful. It certainly would be helpful for her to take it by mouth as well. And, just to look at, well, is there, some people, one foot will be a 1/4 size bigger than the other, and then the shoes can start irritating and set up a condition that can cause a heel spur. Does she have it on one foot or both?
Really, I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's both.
Okay. But the calcium in the wrong place is something that you can use the ReMyte to help as I said, mobilize the calcium. So that's what I'll say, just very basically give you that information.
Okay.
What about you, David? How are you doing? Are you taking the ReMag?
Actually, I'm not. I didn't like the taste of it, so I haven't been taking it.
But think about what I said, though. You can, everybody needs extra vitamin C, so you can get our vitamin C reset. It's a berry powder. It's got potassium in it as well. And you mix that up with your drink of minerals, and the taste is just gone. It's like a nice, fizzy drink, actually, with no sugar. Okay?
Okay. And I found it interesting when you were talking with Ruth, that 96-year-old lady. You talked about putting it on the skin, absorbing through the skin. If you would put magnesium like in a bottle, where it puts out a mist, and put it on your skin, would
yes,
you
of
get
course. Yeah, of course. And for your wife's legs and for your sister's heels, yes, that would be even better than pouring it in your hand, because you'd waste some of it on your hand. So pour it into a mister bottle and mist it on the skin. And for you too, so that you don't have to take it by mouth, you can put it on your skin. It's very well absorbed.
Okay. My wife just came out of the shower now, and she was worrying about her gut. She thinks she has some gut issues, diarrhea. She's been battling with that the last couple of days.
Yes, you have to be careful with the ReMag not to take it all at once. If you take it all at once, you overload the cells, and you might push it out through the intestines. So that's where we put it in a liter of water with a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and put the teaspoon in, but you're going to start with a teaspoon and 1/4, and then you sip that or drink a couple of swallows every hour through the day, and that way it never overloads the cells. But if there's any issue with like yeast overgrowth, you can read about my yeast overgrowth in a book at drcarolyndeanlive.com. For that, we use probiotics and Pico Silver. There's a lot there to learn, but we only have a minute to the top of the hour, David. So hopefully that's enough information, but you can always, you or your wife, email support@rnareset.com to continue the questions, or come back next week.
Okay.
Okay?
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we are, Jenny.
That's it, Carolyn. We're off the air. Excellent show. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, all listeners. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you, everyone.
You've been listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax,